Hello there, welcome to Hashtag Toe to Toe, the first of 2016, answering your boxing questions, setting the debates alight for us, joined by Ed Robinson for the new year, once again has synchronised shirts with me, and Spencer Fearon, who'd never stooped to just a shirt. He's got his tie on.
Never, ever.
Good to see you, gents.
Did you two get a memo or something? You just left me out of it. Do you see the conspiracy that's going on here?
WhatsApp wardrobe
it seems that way.
Group we've got going. Let's kick off, gents, from Issa Kiani, who's got a question for us and says, what's your take on Pacquiao deciding to fight Timothy Bradley for a third fight? The second part of that's who wins. But first of all, your reaction initially, Spencer, to the announcement. This will be seemingly Pacquiao's swan song fight.
Come on. We have. And are we that interested in seeing Manny Pacquiao fight again? You know, he's tailoring his career. He should just call it quits now.
If he fought Amir Khan, would they?
Yeah, if he fought Amir Khan, because you know what would be interesting? The interesting thing with the Amir Khan fight is that he could potentially knock out Amir Khan, or Amir Khan could outbox him.
Yeah.
So off of that, then that's like, it's not a 50-50 fight, but we'd be more interested in seeing that than going over these old reruns. It's like somehow what happens at Top Rank is that they keep on regurgitating these fights.
But it's partly because there's a divide, isn't there, with the PBC fighters, with people like Thurman and Porter maybe boxing each other. There's almost like two divisions within one with American boxing. So who else does Pacquiao fight? But it's just, we've seen it, haven't we?
Yeah.
And it seems a hiding to nothing for Pacquiao, because if he wins, it's like, well, he beat him before.
Yeah.
You know, but it could be a risky fight for him as well, because Bradley, under Teddy Atlas, maybe re-energised.
Yeah, he's
well, who would you pick? I mean, Bradley is in his 30s, but he seems to be a dynamo still in terms of energy, whereas Pacquiao perhaps more subdued against Mayweather than we've seen him, and back up against Algeria a little bit.
Well, there's question marks about Pacquiao after the shoulder surgery, aren't there? So it just seems a strange fight to make, and I can't see there being an awful lot of interest in it, or a big crowd generated by it. It just seems a strange fight for me.
Is he scared of Amir Khan, do you think?
I don't think he's scared of Amir Khan, but I don't know whether Bob Arum particularly likes dealing with the Khans. That's just my impression from the outside.
Why? Yeah. What have you heard?
Well, he's aligned with Al Heyman, isn't he? So Bob Arum, his mortal enemy at the moment is Al Heyman.
They used to spar a lot. There was a sense that perhaps the pendulum swung a bit from Pacquiao to Khan during the duration of their time together.
But that's why it would sell as a fight, partly because of Freddie Roach going up against Amir Khan would be intriguing, not just for British fans, but worldwide. Pacquiao-Bradley doesn't excite me the way it should, really.
No.
But it could be a little bit like Mayweather going out against Berto as a bit of an anticlimax.
Yeah. But no, I don't think that this fight is as bad as Berto fight.
No, but just, you'd expect Mayweather to go out on a high, and this could be Pacquiao going out.
Mayweather has gone out on a high. The guy's made $800 million, right?
Well,
that's going out on a high.
He's living the high life, by all accounts.
Okay.
Rob Beckett, we're very pleased to say, comedian from South London, Mock the Week as well, and Drunk Histories, which my wife says one of the funniest shows she's ever watched.
Yeah, he's a funny Trust Sushi.
Yeah, send in your autograph pictures, please.
Yeah, no, he's amazingly funny, and he's a South Londoner as well.
He is.
I mean, yeah.
And he's a fan of the show, watches, and a fan of yours in particular, Spencer. So good to have you on board, Rob. And his question, and it's quite a sort of resonant one. I want your views on the Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren rivalry. He asks, good or bad for boxing? Inherently, we say competition is good, don't we, Ed?
Yeah, as long as you don't get that situation a little bit like the darts, where you've basically got two different organisations and they never really meet. And so, competition is great, but you want to see Eddie Hearn fighters box Frank Warren fighters. Sure. The British title used to be great for that, because you were mandated and it went to purse bids, and whoever could bid the most money got to put the fight on. But fighters more and more are bypassing the British title and going for international title fights. And I can see why, because it gives them a world ranking, they puts them on the radar of the governing bodies, and they can move forward with their careers. But I like to see a good British title fight to decide who's best in Britain before they go for the European.
Sure.
100%.
For the world title.
And for the boxers, though, is it not, Spencer, from a former fighter's perspective, do you not need a bit of competition, otherwise the promoters pay the fighters less?
Yeah, listen to me. I'm saying this, right? It was Nietzsche that said, be careful of fighting monsters, because in the process you become a monster yourself. Yeah. Because if you stare at the abyss long enough, the abyss will stare back at you.
Where are you going with this?
No, because we were all people. When Frank Warren was at top of the tree, when he was the man, right, in British boxing, and everyone's complaining, oh, I'm not being treated right, blah, blah, blah. Eddie Hearn come around with making all these deals and da-da-da. Then all of a sudden, now Eddie Hearn's the man. Now you're getting people who are with Eddie Hearn, they'll be complaining. So these two, good. I'm glad that there's a rivalry because rivalry is healthy.
Yeah.
Reason why? Because who's going to really benefit? The boxers are going to benefit from it. Let them fight. I want them to fight. That's what I want. I wish that the dads could get into the ring together. Frank Warren and Barry Hearn we could promote that, and then Francis Warren and Eddie Hearn could have a box off.
But Mick Hennessey's a player again now, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Mick Hennessey's a big boy in it. Well, literally, physically, and promotional wise, now he's a big boy in the game.
All threatened potentially by Al Heyman in the sort of revolutionisation of boxing, maybe in the future.
And that's how it's meant to be.
UFC style format. We shall see that debate rumble on. Matty Shaw asks, what do you think to Ike Ibeabuchi's comeback? Can he do anything half as good stateside, looking at current status? So I guess it's a situation there. Nigerian boxer back in his 40s now. Ed, what's your take on that? Possibly on the Pacquiao undercard.
It's impossible to say because we haven't seen what he's been doing while he's been incarcerated, what kind of shape he's in. I've not seen any training footage yet. He was a real talent back in the day. Whether he should even be allowed to box is a different issue.
Yeah.
And what he did was wrong, obviously, to go to prison. But to me, there seemed a few mental health issues.
Sure.
Even before that.
And feasible as a heavyweight, you can perform in your early 40s though, 42.
Well, you can and you can't. What happens is this: is like people getting too full. But we're looking at the success of what George Foreman had.
Yeah.
When he knocked out Michael Mora to become the undisputed heavyweight champion, well, the WBA
and Vladimir Klitschko is knocking on 40.
Right, exactly, knocking on 40. But the difference is this: none of these men have mental health issues.
Yeah.
Ike Ibeabuchi, in his heyday, his fight in '97 with David Tua, we also got it was an unbelievable fighter. When we knocked out Chris Bird went on to become the WBA, WBO, and IBF heavyweight champion of the world. So he's in good stead. He was a fantastic fighter then. But he traded on toughness. We don't know how. You know what I mean? It's a new age, but we never know. We never know. But he's been away from boxing nearly 20 years. He's 42 years old now. We don't know what's going to happen. Major thing is this: he's coming back. We'd like to see him. Let's talk about. He's going to be fighting on the Pacquiao undercard, right? And we'll see. I'm not really that much, but we do know that there are mental health issues.
Andy Ruiz Jr. has been mooted apparently. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what I mean. But we'll see. But. Yeah. If he could do something, it'd be great for boxing because the guy can punch. He was exciting back in the day.
I quite like Ruiz Jr. He looks out of shape, but he can fight a little bit.
It's quite a typical common thread sometimes in the heavyweight division, isn't it? That Sam Lee asks, who wins at super welter between Kell Brook and Liam Smith? So promoting Kell, who people have said is big at welterweight. What's your take on that?
What's a shame is we still don't know how good exactly Liam Smith is because he's just won a title and he's not boxed the real elite of the division yet. Unfortunately, despite his really long unbeaten record, we still don't really know how good Kell Brook is either.
Sure.
And how good he'd be at super welterweight. I think that would be a really intriguing fight though, interesting. Kell Brook, the problem is he's got to fight Kevin Bizier now, his mandatory, who's unfortunately lost twice to Jojo Dan, which was a bit of a mismatch in the end against Kell Brook, so a bit of a hard sell. But it's a fight that I'd love to see, but I can't realistically see it happening.
Brook, does he lose his attributes if he goes up in weight? Is that one of his dominant things?
I'm gonna be real. If they were to fight on what I have watched so far, this is no disrespect to Liam Smith because I really do like beefy, but you'd have to side with Kell Brook because no matter when Ed, who is my learned friend, is saying that we don't know how good Kell Brook is. Hold up a second. Kell Brook just beat Sean Porter 3 fights ago. Yeah, that is enough. That is enough for me to. That is enough for me to.
It's a fair point.
And and then since then, Porter has beat Adrian Broner. You show me, and the Ring magazine, even though they can be biased on certain things, but in their top 10 rankings or pound for pounds, Kell Brook's in it. I think he's rightly deservedly to be in there. Yeah. Kell Brook is an immense force, and he has an attribute about him that you can feel the essence of his toughness when he is. He's a tough man.
A lot of people saying it's a big year for Kell Brook, isn't it? To fight a top 3 opponent.
Yeah, I think he needs a big year. I mean, we want to see the Khan fight, don't we? Yeah. But with Brook, his strength is his strength. He's a massive welterweight. So that's one of the reasons I say going up to super welterweight, he might lose something there. But his ultimate strength, I think, is his timing and ring generalship. He doesn't waste anything at all. His balance and his accuracy, and he'd definitely be a big favourite over Liam Smith. But it'd be an interesting fight.
Yeah, maybe Ahmed Khan and Liam Smith in the same
year.
That'd be fantastic.
Could I just say lastly, if Kell Brook, guys will watch, I know Ed will know, if you watch Mergic Taylor, who was the former what was he, light welterweight and welterweight world champion who lost twice.
And Olympic gold medalist.
And Olympic gold medalist in 1984, who was incredible.
Yeah.
If you watch him and then you watch Chris Eubank, he put them together, you actually get Kell Brook. Now you guys go check that out, go run on YouTube.
It's a nice future.
That's what you get Kell Brook.
Mick Donovan asks, what do you think of Flanagan against the Burns next year, as Ricky is now rated 3 by the WBO? What do you make of that as a potential matchup?
Do you know what? It's a really difficult fight to pick. Flanagan would be the favourite because he's really in form at the moment.
Yeah.
And he's an undefeated world champion. He's got to get past Derry Matthews, which most people expect him to do, although it's an interesting battle. Burns is kind of rejuvenated, but I don't know. It's really hard to tell what Ricky's got left. He's looked good in some fights, poor in others. He kind of did quite well against Omar Figueroa, losing in Texas, and then Figueroa's next fight was kind of virtually welterweight, light middleweight. It's hard to see how much Ricky Burns has got left. I think Ricky Burns is a tough night for anyone, but I think Flanagan will be favourite, wouldn't he?
He would be favourite, and listen, Flanagan has had. He's a fantastic boxer. And like I've been getting a lot of stick because sometimes I forget about Ricky Burns. Ricky Burns, regardless, he's still a 2-weight world champion.
Yeah.
You can't overlook that. He must know something.
Tough.
Right, and up to today, like recently when we had O'Hara Davis in the show, who spars with lightweight contender, and O'Hara was saying nobody trains harder than Ricky Burns.
Yeah.
He's very strong as well. He's one of these people who's better than he looks. You see him, you think, sometimes he'll throw a right hand, it looks so novice-y, but he's awkwardly effective. Flanagan kind of reminds me a little bit. Do you remember Steve Roberts back in the day?
Yeah.
He didn't really stop anyone, and it was a southpah as well. Then suddenly
It
just
started
hit
to
his
come
form
through.
and
Yeah,
started
it started
stopping
to come
people.
through.
Gets
he's
man
doing well.
strength, all that stuff. Carl Jolly asks, afternoon, Spencer, or morning actually when we were recording, actually just afternoon. How important would you say head movement is for a boxer? I don't need to demonstrate anything too much. We know you've got a bad back after saving a child from a car accident.
Let's not talk
we're
about
gonna
that.
talk about that charity
I've actually
work.
got a brace on right now, but don't worry about it. But I'm going to say this now.
He says, for example, Joshua Carson
Right,
as well.
right. I'm going to say to Anthony Joshua, right? And I know he's away on holiday right now, but he does watch the show. For someone like Anthony Joshua, he needs to study Sonny Liston, right?
Right.
All right. Sonny Liston, when he fought Cleveland Williams in 1958 and 59, you watch the head movement that both guys would admit they'll throw the jab, but they always got their head moving. Like head movement is so because you think you move your head left to right, you got a 50% chance of catching a shot in your head or evading a shot.
Yeah.
It's imperatively
But
important.
it could be predictable, can't it? If you do the same rhythm all the time.
No,
people can
but
pick it off.
you got. You know one thing I got to give Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua in the Dylan White fight, he threw a 1-2 and then he rolled. For big guys, they don't really roll.
Yeah.
Big guys don't roll because they think all they got to do is put their hands up to block the shots.
Yeah.
He rolled and come back. So Anthony Joshua's demonstrating to us that he's incredibly athletic. Because I watched that fight properly. I think I was a little bit heavily criticising him. But now when you watch him, he does move his head, but he needs to put more head movement in his game because head movement is so important. But there's so many great fighters that haven't moved their head. Oscar De La Hoya was a guy that didn't move his head.
Presumably, Ed, you could
Pacquiao didn't really.
disorient yourself a little bit if you do it overly and kind of confuse you take away from your attack.
There's a couple of things I'd say. One is head movement also depends a little bit on the opponent you're facing. So if you're taller than the guy you're facing, why would you slip down possibly into their hooks and whatever? So you tend to kind of use your feet more when you're the taller guy and you keep your shots straight, jabs, right hands. But also, I think you say about predictability, but to me, it's all about being unpredictable. So if someone throws a jab at you, take a little half step back. Someone throws a jab at you, then you catch it and you throw a shot at the same time, or you slip inside and throw a right hand at the same time. Every time you want to do something a little bit different, you don't want to be easy to read.
Yeah.
If every time someone throws a jab at you, you slip inside it to throw a body shot, you're going to get time. So it's about being unpredictable, about having lots of different aspects to your game.
So a lot of it's got to do with reflexes then, right?
Well, yeah, but reflexes, but just not getting into the same variety and not getting into the same rhythm. So head movement's a big factor in that, and also obviously when some people are hit with a shot, they're quite rigid and they take the shot full force. Whereas you see like fighters like Duran and the way he'll take his shot.
Your favourite fighter?
Yeah, my favourite fighter. But he'll take a right hand and he'll roll with it. He'll ride with the shot and take the force out of it and then come back with a shot. Americans in particular are really good, and the journeyman over here, slipping down to the right hand side from the jab and then looking for right hands to the body or right hooks or. Yeah.
Sorry. Great. Go on, Dave.
Carried away.
It's an interesting topic.
Bottom line is this: head movement is imperatively important.
Yeah.
Great guys, great guys
Have a
actually
plan.
do. You think of your top 10 greatest fighters of all time. They're all a head movement. And when they didn't have head movement, who relied on reflexes, when they did get caught, then they'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
Final question.
Yeah.
Bernard Hopkins, my guy, moves his head.
Talking about unpredictable, we know that Spencer's always got a new outfit on. You never know quite what he's going to wear. And Gavin Lyder asks, just watching the Mike Tyson Danny Williams fight. And I have a question, Spencer. Do you still have that purple suit? I think we've got pictures to come over here of the purple suit and an orange shirt as well. Is
it was an orange shirt. I'm going to tell you a really quick story.
And the stripe
Right,
and the hair?
Right, really quick story. It was my cousin Donald bought that suit from Oswell Boltank, spent about $2,000 for the suit, and he brought it home. And he said, "Well, I got this suit." I said, "Oh, have you really?" I said, "You know, I'm off with this. I'm going to Vegas because Danny Williams is fighting Tyson." And I actually stole the suit from my cousin, and I actually do have the suit.
It's a good fit.
It still is a good fit, but the shirt's actually ripped because my dear friend CK Flash, who brought in a kid who's on the Sky Academy team now, got an MBE. And I said, CK, he said, wear that suit because you're coming with me for his MBE. And I said, right, all right. And I tried to put the suit on the other day and I ripped the shirt. Anyway.
We can suit it for next week though, surely.
Well, yeah, I put.
Was Danny Williams Tyson in Vegas? I thought.
No, sorry. It was actually
You're thinking
Louisville.
Danny Williams against Klitschko.
Yeah, Louisville, Kentucky. That fight was in, and that fight was June 2004, June the 30th, 2004. You're right.
Big part of the tactics.
Incredible
to
night.
blind Tyson with the.
It was. It actually was. No, seriously. On funny games aside, Danny Williams beating Mike Tyson. There was nothing in boxing. Yeah, nothing in boxing.
Yeah.
And I don't care when they say, "Oh, he was a shot Mike Tyson and this, that, and all the rest."
He
of it.
still walked through the fire to do it.
Thank you very much. Yeah. He did it. People thought he was going to get killed. He was going to get annihilated. Yeah. And it just meant so much to see a childhood friend beat Mike Tyson.
Big night.
I don't care what
fittingly marked with that attire. Spence, it's been a pleasure as well. Good to have you back. Well done for your heroics.
Thank you, Ed.
Ed, nice to have you.
Please come back. No.
Big 2016 ahead. And thank you guys for all your questions as well. Next Tuesday, the call to arms goes out once again. We record on Wednesday, and thanks for those questions. We'll discuss more next week.
Enjoy Sky Sports Live on all screens, on the go, and the best bits on demand.